Hello guys, welcome back to Photographics Academy. So today I'm going to be showing you something beautifully unique, right? Today we're going to be transforming our studio photography into more like an outdoor scene, right? So this is a scene or more like background that we're gonna be putting this lady on. Sincerely, I don't really know exactly how it's going to come out, but I'm sure it's going to come out really fine. So let's learn together and see how much we can produce from this image. So the first thing I'm going to do is to determine the sizing. But before we continue, let me be sure that I'm recording. All right, beautiful. So the first thing I'm going to do is to crop this image. So I'm going to come over here, put it in my 4:10 and just crop it. So I'm going to give her a lot of head zoom because I'm seeing exactly where I'm putting her, and I wouldn't want to, at the end of the day, not have space for these areas to show up. Once I'm done doing that, I'll fix the edges. So I'll just come over here and make a rough selection like this. Select inverse, fill it up, content aware. So all these stuffs and areas are going to be filled up beautifully well. Nice. So let's clean up our background. So what is the easiest way to clean up your background? In Photoshop, there are many ways to do it, right? There are many ways. But for this one, we'll just have to make a selection of our subject. Right-click, select inverse, and go close to make sure we have a good selection. So coming over here, you will notice we'll have a white edge showing up. Same thing over there. Good. So once we are done doing that, now because I wouldn't want to have white fringes or edges at the end of the day, and I am not going to be using masking for this image. If I'm using masking, then I could use my smudge tool to fix the edges. But because I'm not going to be going through that, I'll go to my select, go to modify and contract. Now, why am I contracting instead of expanding? Sorry, I'm actually supposed to expand because we are selecting inverse, so expand is going to push it. So we expand by 3 pixels. You should push it in beautiful. So let's be sure we're not losing a lot of her body. If we are, so we'll do it by 2 pixels. Expand by 2 pixels. Let's see. Now I can work with that. Now once I'm done doing that, I'm going to make a duplicate. Right click and go to layer via cut. So I'll have my object layer above. Then we select my background and smooth it out using my filter like this. Beautiful. So the reason I did it this way is because we are working on a gray background image. If it's a different background, I wouldn't even go through this step. I would have just filled up, then cut out my object, put a mask to it to make sure I fix the edges at the end of the day. So now let's bring in our background. You just unlock it over here. Confirm that the size is matching. Beautiful. Unlock. Go to your move tool and just drag it over and drop. Nice. So once you're done doing that, place your object exactly where you would want her to be. And of course, you need to bring back your backgrounds. You wouldn't want to use all of them. So I want to make sure that this lightning is just positioned somewhere around here. Somewhere around here. So we'll put our anchor point here and scaling a bit more. I think I'll warp the seat here. Maybe bring this down a little bit. Now press OK. Okay. So now we'll have few more things to fix. We'll have our coloring, we'll have our blending, and we have this front area to fix. I actually want my object to be positioned exactly here. So we'll keep her just right here, right? Bring this down there. Now let's start working on blending. Before we move on, I'm going to stay on my background, select my marquee tool and make a selection of this area. Right click, fill it up with content aware so that we'll make sure that that area is taken care of. Beautiful. So once that area is taken care of, the next work is to start. I think we need to uniform things out. Just align the lines. Good. So the next thing is to start blending him. And the first thing we need to do in that area is to bring back our shadow. Now, on a normal day, we would have just changed this to overlay, but we don't do that anymore. Why? Because we want to still retain contrast and high quality. But how do we use that same overlay technique, which allows us to get back our shadows over here and still produce the result that we want? Very simple. Watch this technique. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a duplicate of my background, right? Turn this one off, then change this one to overlay. Or even multiply, because I'm seeing a lot of that. Okay, so overlay would work, right? So in my overlay, I can even darken this down, but I want to really make sure, or rather, let's darken our main background down. I want to really make sure I have my shadows showing up. Now, once I darken it down, if I do it before and after, you notice that I see my shadows right here. So how do we fix it? So I think this needs to also darken down a bit so that our shadows will be properly represented. Good, look at that. So what do? We create a mask here, pick up our brush, and just restore the shadows. We check again. Where are the places we had shadows? Okay. Check here, check here. Beautiful. So we have enough shadows in the image already. But I think this is too much. It's going to turn too black. We'll fix that later. Now we'll have our shadows open, but we'll still have our background not in contrast. So what do? We'll turn this one up. But after turning it up, we notice that our shadows are gone. So what do? Remember, this is where our shadows are. So if we create a mask for this one, I will reduce the opacity so that it doesn't come too strong. If we create a mask for this one and just unveil what we have here, we start getting our shadows back. Look at that. So you see, we'll have our shadows perfectly restored. We'll have our background perfectly retained. Now, looking at the image, you will notice something. Our image is, having a different color from the environment. We need to have the ambienceness of the environment on our object. So what do? We use our solid color. So we'll come to solid color over here, press OK, turn it up, select it. Now we want to color grade her skin, and we can do that by using any dark orange tone in the scene, so that we will make sure we will have the environment that is called ambience light on our object. So we'll come to our object, make a duplicate, create a mask, go to select coloring. So the idea is just to select her, separate her skin tone separately, press OK. So use this mask and replace that of the solid color. Change the blend mode to soft light. Reduce the opacity. So you see what we have. But now she's coming to yellowish. It doesn't look natural. So what do? We'll come back to the solid color and now just shift the hue a little to push it towards an orange tone. Can now decide to push it up a little bit or even reduce it. So I'm seeing excesses somewhere, like her hair should be black, but I'm seeing orange. So it means her hair got into the selection. So we'll just remove it from her hair. Her back, I think I'm going to leave it at the back. And this is it. So this is the before, this is the after. If you even want it to be more shiny, you can keep this one in color mode, make a duplicate and keep this one in soft light. Then reduce that of the color mode a bit, right? And of course, drop this down a little bit. So if I put both of them in a group, this is what we have. So you see that immediately we have been able to drop the lightening on the scene, or the more like the coloring on the scene on our object. So the next thing I want to do is to create a global color grading over here. Something that will bring them together. I love this color. Let's see. Beautiful. But when you bring it down, it becomes washed out. We want the saturations to be strong. So just move through. Excuse me. All right. So just move through. Nice one. Beautiful. I love this. The contrast it brings looks so amazing. So we can actually use this and now use our camera raw to do the rest. So press Ctrl Shift Alternate E, then go into your filter and camera raw filter. Right inside here, I'm going to turn up my highlights a little, just slightly, push up my vibrance a little, and I'm going to cool things down a little bit. Nice one. So I'll go into my HSL and increase my red. I want the clothes she's wearing to become pepper red, right? I want the red to be very strong. It is pushing towards pink, which I do not want. Somewhere around here. Then saturate the red. Nice. Then maybe my orange a little bit and highlight the orange, make her skin up slightly. Nice. So all the way down to my saturation, push this up a little. My blue primaries, keep it somewhere around here. Beautiful scenery. Nice one. So I'll go back up here, apply a little vignetting, maybe a little bit of my highlight more, a little darkening in the shadows just to keep things dark. Okay, you can actually push it up. So all you are basically going to be doing is working with your eyes, right? Seeing exactly what works for you. So I'm going to leave it at this. Then I might try to blur out the background a little bit more. This one is totally not on you. I think I'm going to leave it the way it is. It looks beautiful already. Nice one. So my blue. So inside my HSL, I think I need to punch up my blues a little. The lightening on the background, let's push it up a little. Keep it somewhere around here. Then my greens, my yellows in my scene. Maybe I can even brighten the yellows so that the light becomes very strong. And that will basically be press OK. So this is what we did in our camera raw before and the after. And we are practically done. Let me show you the overall before and after of everything we've done. I think I'm going to use my snapshot for that because we missed some here. So if we come into this area, this was the image when we came into Photoshop, and this is the final result we have right here. Isn't this amazing? So that next studio picture you are taking, you can as well transform it into more like a hotel lobby, and it will still look very, very, very realistic and beautiful. Thank you so much for watching this amazing video. Do make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you subscribe, click on the notification bell so that every time we drop videos like this, you are going to get to see it firsthand. Before I leave, if you want to join our Telegram community where this background will be made available, just go to the description of the video. You will see our Telegram community link. Click on it to become part of our community. We'll have a lot of free stuffs there for you that you want to gain access to as a photographer and as a retoucher. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one.